Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. So once again, I am thinking about leaving the United States because I'm very grossed out at our habits. I recently started a new job and I thought I had gotten away from some of the, what I like to describe as hurry mania, where schedules are so packed that even though you're working a certain number of hours during the day, it feels like the clock is ticking all hours of the day, and you end up having to stuff your lunch in your face. I'm so glad I haven't had to do that for 3 weeks now. I actually more or less rage quit my last job over something like that. I've been negotiating some schedules when my boss thought it was acceptable for something and it wasn't. So let's just put it that way. But now that I have all the time in the world, and a lot of my colleagues have all the time in their world, I still see people stuff their lunch into their face. And earlier today, I wanted to gently point out to a colleague on a different department, and he laughed in my face. And that's okay by me, but he's really laughing in his own face, right? In his own 10 years in the future when he has cancer or heart disease face, right? And that's the sad part of it. I could care less that he laughs at me, you know. I feel like I'm doing my duty by setting a good example. But recently, every time I have a meal out in public, which is very therapeutic for me, by the way, because I get to look at this and see how far I've come, I find myself internally making a wager when somebody opens up their burger or something, how big a bite they're going to take. And lately, even though I'm wagering on the big side of things, it's usually still bigger than what I'm wagering. And it just reminds me, I don't seem to remember seeing that in other parts of the world. My family's in Taiwan. The Taiwanese, here in America, I think we spend about 6% of our GDP on food. In Taiwan, it's closer to 20%. And it really shows. They treasure every bite. And here in the United States, we're worried about it going from 6 to 8%. And at the same time, we're not worried about how that 8% is going to hurt our health care costs because we're stuffing our faces. This is really backwards. And it's really mindless how we live. I remember being taken aback in 2020 when we first went into lockdown. I had a favorite downtown park that I liked to go to that was not very crowded. On the way there, people would be driving like a maniac. I remember, what is this road called? Bellevue Avenue. It's 40 miles an hour. People would drive 60, 65 just to rush somewhere else to quarantine. It's just so weird. What are they rushing to? And so just goes to show how out of tune we are with our bodies, with our minds. I can't imagine that happening in Poland or Taiwan, some of the other places I go to. People there really know to treasure what they have because they don't have a whole lot, right?